Not her.
Information, Honorable Speaker. Information,
Member for
Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, you know the Constitution.
Mr.
The Constitution is very clear that it recognizes the governing party as the main party of the business. This conduct to be awkward and actually unforgivable if she can be able to lose her own credibility to go to the other side and portray herself to be an opposition member or anti-government, which is very wrong. So this context, it's good that she has moved. At least it has answered my question. Thank you.
Member for Plenary Mali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to appreciate your wisdom. At times you teach even the members. Honorable Speaker, it is also good to quote the standing order because we have the seat of the minority and the majority, the only designated positions for the members. Any other member can sit anywhere. And that's why we have the chairman Health, who is a member of my Leo Chap on the majority side. So it should not apply discriminatory when.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there are some reports that are not ready, contrary to what I may have mentioned.
Social protection policy and the Makueni County Alta Poor graduation policy.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, they are not ready. We wish to retreat and make the final draft so that we can adopt.
How much time do you require?
7 days, Mr. Speaker.
7 days. Endeavor to do so. Chairperson of the Committee on Health Officers to table a report of the committee on the delayed payment of hospital cashiers across the county.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly. The report of the Committee on Health Services on the delayed payment of hospital cashier workers across the county. Thank you.
Chairperson, Committee on Environment and Climate Change to table a report of the Committee on Environment on consideration of Magalete Wetland Ecosystem Report.
Sir, the Speaker, sir, I beg to ask or request for extension. That report is not ready because already we've not been able to meet and the more information is still being waited from the ECM.
When?
It'll be in 7 days' time.
7 days. Clerk, take note of that and provide for it in the order paper in the subsequent sitting.
Okay.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Committee on Gender, Children, Youth and Sports to give a notice of a motion. On Supercov guideline.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion. The report on the Committee on Gender, Children's, Youth, Sports and Social Services on the Super Cup guidelines and structure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson on social protection policy and the county alter poor graduation policy, you endeavor to do so within the next 7 days. Chairperson, Committee on Officers to give a notice of motion.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion that this Assembly adopts the report of the Committee on Health Services on the delayed payment of hospital cashier workers across the county laid on the table of the Assembly on 18th June 2025. Thank you.
Chairperson, Committee on Environment to give a notice of motion within the next 7 days on the Mangalete Wetland Ecosystem Report. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Leader of the Majority Party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 47-2A and 55 of the County Assembly Standing Orders,
I rise to give a statement on the business of the County Assembly for the coming week. The following business has been tentatively scheduled to be transacted by the County Assembly in the coming week. Monday, 23rd June 2025. Petitions. Report in response to a public petition regarding the protection of cash crop farmers in Makueni County. Papers and notices. Tabling of the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the County Government of Makueni Financial Year 2025-2026 budget estimates. Notice of motion shall be given as well. 2. Tabling of the report of the Committee on Infrastructure, Transport, Public Works, Housing and Energy on the need to establish an access road connecting Makueni County and Kajiado County through Kambu Market. Notice of motion shall be given as well. 3. Tabling of the report of the Committee on Delegated County Legislation on the Public Finance Management, County Assembly of Makueni, Catering and Health Services Scheme Fund Regulations 2024. Notice of motion shall be given as well. Statements. 1. Response to the statement as was requested on 23rd April 2025 by the member for Evingoni Zambani Ward regarding the distribution of Muzima Water Springs. 2. Response to the statement as was requested on 23rd April 2025 by the member for Evingoni Zambani Ward regarding complaints to Kenya Power and Lighting Company on the non-functional power lines in Evingoni Zambani Ward. Motions. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on ICT, Education and Internship on the oversight exercise on early childhood development and education centers across the county, conducted on 30th and 31st January 2025. On Tuesday, 24th June 2025, morning plenary, petitions. Report in response to a public petition by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers regarding staff establishment in Makueni County. Papers and notices. 1. Tabling of the report of the County Public Accounts Committee on the consideration of the report of Auditor General on the County Assembly of Makueni for the year ended 30th June 2024. Notice of motion shall be given as well. 2. Tabling of the report of the County Public Accounts Committee on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Makueni County Receiver of Revenue for the year ended 30th June 2024. Notice of motion shall be given as well. 3. Tabling of the report of the County Public Accounts Committee on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Makueni County Revenue Fund for the year ended 30th June 2024. Notice of motion shall be given as well. Statements. Response to the statement requested on 10th March 2025 by the member from Boni Ward regarding grabbing of public utility land in Kikima Market in Boni Ward. 2. Response to the statement as was requested on 9th October 2024 by the member for Emali Mulala Ward regarding the report of the plot validation exercise conducted in Emali Old Town. Motions. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services on the consideration of the Makueni County Sports Policy 2024. In the afternoon session, Tuesday, 24th June. Petitions. Report in response to a public petition regarding the evacuation and gazettement of Q wetland in Makindu Ward. Statements. 1. Response to the statement as was requested on 23rd April 2025 by the member for Evingoni Zambani Ward regarding complaints to the Kenya Power and Lighting Company on the non-functional power lines in various markets in Evingoni Zambani Ward. 2. Response to the statement as was requested on 24th April 2025 by the member from Boni regarding the stalled works at Boni Isolation Hospital in Boni Ward. Motions. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the County Government of Makueni Financial Year 2025-2026 budget estimates. And 2. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services on legal machinery guidelines and structures. On Wednesday, 25th June 2025, afternoon plenary, there will be petitions, one petition, the report in response to a public petition by residents of Chandulu, Nguma Ward regarding the distribution of Chandulu ball water to Rovoini, Sumele sub-ward. One statement, response to the statement as was requested on 19th August 2024 by the member for Evingoni Zambani Ward regarding the non-operationalization of Dongoni Health Center in patient ward. There will be one bill, consideration of the Makueni County Appropriation Bill 2025, all stages. There will be a motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Environment and Climate Change on the consideration of the Water Municipality Sustainable Solid Waste Management Policy 2024. Mr. Speaker, there shall be a meeting of the Assembly Business Committee on Monday, 23rd June 2025 at 9 a.m. and pursuant to the decisions of that meeting, additional business may be scheduled to be transacted by the County Assembly during that week. Just some small clarification, Honorable Speaker, to the members that they may know how this schedule might be very tight on the budget. On Monday, we have tabling of the report. That's on Monday afternoon plenary. On Tuesday, Honorable Speaker, on Tuesday we have the motion. On Tuesday, then on Wednesday, Honorable Speaker, on Wednesday we are going through all the stages of the bill. All the stages, that is the Makueni County Appropriation Bill 2025 for the budget. So, Honorable Speaker, I humbly request the members that we may try as much as possible to be available in order for us to cover all these stages of the budget making. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I wish to direct as follows, that all business under order number 7 is deferred. We'll give priority to business and which are statements. We'll give priority to business under order number 8 and others thereof, which are motions. Clerk, proceed. The reason for that, honorable members, is that we have a number of bills that are pending for some time as motions and reports that are overdue and they are time bound. As you know that we have not been able to get quorum on Monday and Tuesday and previously before we adjourned, and therefore some of these reports are overdue and they need to be given precedence over the rest of the business. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 8, the Makueni County Public Participation in the Civic Education Bill 2025, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2025. Order for second reading.
Chairperson, Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I request that we read the second reading on Monday. There was a memorandum and we are compiling the memorandum to include into the bill.
So you need up to Monday next week? Next order.
Order number 9, the Makueni County Tax Waivers and Administration Bill 2025, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025. Order for second reading.
Chairperson, Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move the following motion that the Makueni County Tax Waivers and Administration Bill 2025, that is the Makueni County Assembly Bills number 2 of 2025, be now read a second time. Administration Bill 2025 seeks to give further effect to Article 210 of the Constitution of Kenya as regards tax waivers and the administration thereof. Give further effect to Section 159 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. Ensure transparency in the administration of taxes and other revenue, in particular in the waivers thereof, and provide for the procedure applicable to and requirements for tax waivers. Mr. Speaker, sir, the bill is categorized into 3 parts and schedules, with part 1 being the preliminary of the bill, that is the short title, interpretation and objects. Part 2 is on authority to waive tax and administration of tax waivers. That is, no tax waiver except in the manner provided by law, authority of the County Executive Committee member to waive tax, types of waivers, ad hoc committee for processing applications, waiver of penalties and interest, criteria for processing health services, waivers, criteria for processing waivers for persons living with disability, exception on waivers, duration for waiver and extension, waivers to be published, records of waivers, report of waivers to the County Assembly, prohibition of waivers for state or public officers. And part 3 is on miscellaneous provisions, that is offenses and general penalty, review of applications and regulation. The schedules are on application forms for waiver, that is for general application, PWD and patients. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Makueni County Tax Waivers and Administration Bill 2025 was read the first time in the County Assembly on 14th May 2025 and was committed to the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning as provided by Standing Order 145 of the County Assembly Standing Orders. The bill was subjected to public participation through request of memorandum from interested members of the public and concerned stakeholders. The request for memorandum had required those interested to submit their memorandum by 4th June 2025. However, by the end of the request period, no memorandum had been received. Mr. Speaker, sir, that committee has not been able to finalize its report on the bill due to some other engagements which caused the delay. However, the committee is working around the clock to have the report tabled in this House at the earliest opportunity to guide the consideration of the bill in the Committee of the Whole House and the subsequent passage with the legally provided timelines. Mr. Speaker, sir, the passage and implementation of this bill will offer reprieve to the citizens who would suffer severe financial hardship if the rate, tax, fee, or charge were not waived, deferred, or reduced, more so during these challenging economic times, cushion the county government from non-cost-effective recovery measures of rate, tax, fee, or charge from defaulters, and encourage defaulters to pay amounts outstanding to the county government, which will more revenue collection. I therefore implore on members to support the second reading of the Makueni County Tax Waivers and Administration Bill 2025 to allow it to move to the next stages of consideration and including its passage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I call upon member for Emali Mulala Ward, Honorable Cosmas Kaleli, to second this motion.
Member for Emali. Second of the motion. Honorable members, I now propose the question that Makueni County Tax Waiver Administration Bill 2025, which is the Makueni County Assembly Bill number 2 of the year 2025, Bill number 2, be now read a second time. The floor is open for debate. Honorable Elizabeth Muthike.
Honorable Speaker, before I give my voice on this matter, either to support or to oppose, I want to seek your guidance on Standing Order 145-345. On committal of bills to committees and public participation. Honorable Speaker, 145-2 says, notwithstanding paragraph 1. Paragraph 1 is where automatically the bill is committed to the.
Sorry, go on about. Proceed.
For purposes of our students, I will read the standing order, Honorable Speaker. 145-3. The sectoral committee to which a bill is committed shall facilitate public participation and shall take into account the views and recommendations of the public when the committee makes its report to the county assembly. 4, the chairperson of the sectoral committee to which the bill is committed or a member designated for that purpose by the committee shall present the committee's report to the county assembly within 20 calendar days of such committal, and upon such presentation, or if the committee's report is not presented, that is where I need your guidance, Honorable Speaker. When the committee's report is not presented, when it comes due, the bill shall be ordered to be read a second time on such day as the county assembly business committee shall, in consultation with the member or committee in charge of the bill, appoint. Number 5, if for any reason at the commencement of the second reading, the report of the committee has not been presented, the committee concerned shall report progress to the county assembly, and the failure to present the report shall be noted by the liaison committee for necessary action. Honorable Speaker, I have listened to the chair. He has indicated that the report for the public participation is not ready and they could not report. I want you to guide me whether the liaison committee has been able to note on that before we came for the second reading. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson Lawson. Chairperson Liaison Committee to report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I might not have been following because I had some other issues which I was trying to sort with Honorable Ben, but as guided by Honorable Muthike, the Chair for Finance might have taken due diligence before he presented his report.
Members. Honorable Muthike. Honorable Member, Standing Order number 145 provides as follows. In particular, Standing Order number 145, Sub-Order 4. The chairperson of a sectoral committee to which the bill has been committed, in this case, the bill as read by Chairperson Committee on Finance, or a member designated for purposes by the committee shall present the committee's report to the county assembly within 21 days. Shall, within 21 days of such committee and upon such presentations, if the committee's report has not been presented when it becomes due, the bill shall be ordered to be read a second time. On such a day, the County Assembly Business Committee shall, and in consultation with the member of DAO, 21 days are due. And it is in the order paper and therefore considered by the Assembly Business Committee. And an order has been given for the bill to be read. Whether the chairperson you are ready or not, the bill must be read. Now, standing order number 145, sub-order 5 is applicable subject to sub-order 4. Now, the conditions that follow, Honorable Muthike, under 5, whether they were complied with or not, there is no room for negotiations or discussion on standing order number 145-4. The bill must be read. Now, the chair between second reading and the third reading has to fulfill to the requirements of 145, sub-order 5, and any other before we progress. Now, in the circumstances, standing order number 145-4 is a shall, and therefore that bill must be read. Now, the chairperson has given a progress and no public participation, and is yet to compile a report. So, and even if he had no progress report, the progress he would have given was to this, that we did not get an opportunity to sit. That reading must be done within 21 days, which is falling due today. Now, everything else now must fall within that, immediately after it has been done, because he ought to have done it before, and even if he did not do it to the liaison committee, the compliance with 4 must be done today. You have a comment?
You know, Speaker, I'm very technical when it comes to procedure. Why I have raised on this is because you allowed the Committee on Devolution to sit and bring their report on Monday. If that was the condition, then the Committee on Devolution should have read their bill for a second reading. Bills without reports for public participations, because it is at this point where the report will inform.
Blank spaces. But he is clever, he is seeking permission to submit. But the standing order says, now that in cases whereby you have not submitted answers to the questions, you shall report to the disciplinary teacher, which is liaison committee. Now, the essence of liaison committee is to assess performance of a committee and may make recommendation to selections of committee on reconstitution of that committee if it is not able to substantiate and provide a bill. You know, that is the essence of liaison, to supervise and make recommendations. So, chairperson, you are beaten the deadline but scored 0. You are only trying to be a good student to avail your booklet with no answers other than being absent from the class. Nevertheless, it is scoring 0. So you are pursuing with the teacher to give you more opportunity to present answers next week on when? On when? On Wednesday. Yes, member from Mali.
Honorable Speaker, I wish to make some clarity on this matter. The first reading of the bill was done on 14th May 2025. It was to be reported back for second reading within 21 days, which happened when the Assembly was on recess. We just resumed sittings yesterday. Today we came, Honorable Speaker, and this is what I want to put clearly to members. We had requested for memorandum from the public, simply because of other challenges. If the members want us to go through the other challenge, because if you go to Article 194 B of it, it states clearly that the Assembly shall conduct facilitate public participation. We had no resources. The resources we had, we have factored budget bill. So Honorable Speaker, why we are saying some of the reason why the committee is not able to bring the report, and the report which we brought is progress to report. Yes, we intended to do ABCD. These are the challenges why we don't have a report. And now it is a high time the speaker can direct this matter to the liaison committee. But within 14 days, we will be working day and night to ensure that if we have facilitated, within 14 days, we have a report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Point of order.
Honorable Waneke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is the honorable member for Emali Mulala in order, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, you are trying to guide the House and the committee. And he is now bringing other issues which are not irrelevant. He is not in order, Mr. Speaker, because order number 145, Mr. Speaker, talks of 20 calendar days. It is 20 calendar days. In my standing order, there is no one, for Mr. Speaker, even in the diaspora, because we are on social media, Mr. Speaker. Note that I crossed over here, Mr. Speaker, and I bore to give respect to the Assembly to come and consult with Honorable Mudhiki on this matter of standing order number 145, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Honorable Moki. Order, Honorable Moki. Consulting is one thing. Contributing from that side is another thing. By dint of that fact that you are contributing next to Honorable Elizabeth Muthike, it is deemed that as a member of Muungano Party and the National Secretary General of that party, you have since been swallowed, resumed that you are a Wiper member. So to qualify a nomination in Wiper, you lose your seat and apply to be a member. And therefore, without further ado, your contribution from that side, it's not null and void. I do not know where you're speaking from. So please take your rightful position.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
If you are interested in joining that party, don't worry. It is clear where your heart is, I know. Your heart could be there, but for now, you are in the assembly. So honorable members, in the interest of time, we need to make progress. Allow us to make progress. That's partly Chairperson Committee on Finance. You have moved the motion as required of you by the standing orders. Now, explanation as to why there is no report is completely a different story. And therefore, this matter ought to be reported by liaison. Now, for liaison to report you to this house, it's an inquiry. Circumstances under which a procedure was not followed. Remember, the role of liaison is to supervise performance of committees. So the reporting of the committee, it is not as reasons as to why, it is as to why you did not follow the procedure and the proceedings. So it's not a good thing. Now, I gather that you are looking for 14 days to supply this information with us. So during a period within which then the liaison committee is expected to report in the subsequent sitting of this house on the undertakings and the performance of the Committee on Finance as to why standing order number 145, sub-order 4 was not complied with. So Chairperson liaison, you take note of that and you report in the subsequent sitting. That is not to say that member from Bitini was in order. Member from Bitini standing orders requires that at the fall of the 20th day, you shall present a report. Where is your report?
Order number 8, the Makueni County Public Participation and Civic Education Bill 2025, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2025. Order for second reading.
Chairperson.
Mr. Speaker, I'm a bit confused. I request you read the next order as I prepare to read this.
The order has been read by the clerk, and therefore you must proceed.
Let me consult.
The point of order.
Mr. Speaker,
I
want to refer you to standing order number 1. And we read with you line by line that is it in order that since you had made already this kind of ruling, that now we revert back the business and retract back. You are already made a discretion. What precedence, Mr. Speaker, are you setting in this house? Standing order number 1, you have the discretion to make a decision and it becomes binding. Now, if you are going to unravel that precedence or that particular ruling, then it means in future, somebody will also make another ruling and they will retract the ruling when already the damage has been caused.
Honorable Muthoka, standing order number 1 provides that in cases where matters are not expressly provided for, where matters are not expressly provided for by the standing orders of the County Assembly, any procedural issue shall be determined by the Speaker. In this case,
Procedural issue shall be determined by the Speaker.
yes, in this case, this procedure is expressly provided for, and Honorable Mudhike, for that matter, a member of the Speaker's panel, a speakership in that case, as raised standing order number 145, where it is expressly provided for. And therefore, for the Speaker to rescind his decision and require the Chair to comply with standing order number 145 is in order, if the report is ready.
I agree with you, Mr. Speaker, sir. However, if you take number 1 and combine with number 145 as already explicitly expounded on, I find it going to be dealing with the business. Otherwise you retract.
If the chairperson is not ready with that report, he should recuse himself and request that he does so that time. The 20th day has lapsed. Is the report there or not there, progress or otherwise? That is what we want to hear. So that then we are in compliance with standing order number 145. Now, for the Speaker to close his eyes and assume that there isn't a 145-4 is again abusing standing order number 1 because it's expressly provided for. And the Speaker has many eyes. And one of the eyes is Honorable Mudhike. Yes. The other one is Honorable Katumo. Yes. And I think he was requesting to speak to me. I think he must have wanted to take. He must have wanted to talk to tell me the same. So members of the Speaker's panel are always alert. And when you are in that panel, you used to. Yes. Before you resigned.
Have the mic.
Now he's a candidate. Have a report or not?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, sir, I beg to move the following motion that the Makueni County Public Participation and Civic Education Bill 2025, that is Makueni County Assembly Bill number 1 of 2025, be now read a second time. The bill seeks to give effects to paragraph 14 of part 2 of 4th schedule of the Constitution to provide for a legal framework for the effective coordination, facilitation and management of public participation and civic education in the county government process and for connected purposes. Mr. Speaker, since I've given the progress report, I call upon Honorable Maneki to second.
Honorable members, I propose a question that Makueni County Public Participation and Civic Education Bill 2025, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 1 of the year 2025, be now read a second time, which is second reading. The floor is open for debate. No debate? Member from Lale Malwood. Member for Murale Malwood.
Honorable Speaker, I sit in the Committee of Devolution, which should be deliberating on those matters. I don't remember her sitting and adopting such a report. So I wonder how that report has been read and seconded, where only 2 members are participating on that report. So I seek the clarity from the chair, my chair, and remember how it has happened. Both of 2 can bring a report that which have not gone through the procedures of the committee, this house. Thank you.
Member from Mulale Mali, you are concerned whether the chair has presented a report.
Well noted, Honorable Speaker.
The chair has not presented a report. The chair has presented a progress report as a chairperson. Now the report is by a committee. A progress is by chair. It's leadership. It's a progress.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform my member.
It is not very clear, Honorable Speaker. A committee is a replica of the assembly. So let it be a chair's report, not a report of the committee. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the member. And it is good members be taken to a training. After the first sitting is done, the second sitting, then there is the committee report. That is the stage 3. That is where we discuss the bill, then we bring a report as a committee. Thank you.
Mover of the motion, the chairperson is in order. That's a progress. It is not a committee's report. It's a progress report. During the second, when the deputy speaker presides of the plenary for the committee of the whole house, the house doesn't sit to resolve. The chair gives a progress. Progress is just to update on what has happened up to that moment. But that progress is not subject to vote. What has happened is that the bill has been read for the second time, but there's no report for adoption, which it's yet to be adopted. Mover of the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate members for supporting, and I request them to approve the second reading. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that Makueni Public Participation and Civic Education Bill 2025, which is Makueni County Assembly Bill number 1 of year 2025, being now read a second time, which is second reading. Will as many as of the opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Chairperson Committee on Devolution, you endeavor within the next 14 days to comply with the provision of Standing Order number 145. Chairperson Liaison, on the subsequent sitting of this House, you prepare a report in the circumstances at which the committee did not comply with Standing Order number 145, sub-order 4. Next order. Clerk, read the bill.
The Makueni County Public Participation and Civic Education Bill 2025, a bill for an act of the County Assembly of Makueni to give effect to paragraph 14 of part 2 of 4th schedule of the Constitution, to provide for a legal framework for the effective coordination, facilitation, and management of public participation and the civic education in county government processes and for connected purposes. Second reading.
Next order.
Order number 10, the Makueni County Equitable Development Bill 2025, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 3 of 2025. Order for second reading.
Chairperson Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr.
What is it, Honorable Elizabeth Mtiti? You have a point of order? Proceed, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following motion, that the Makueni County Equitable Development Bill 2025, the Makueni County Assembly Bill number 3 of 2025, be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Makueni County Equitable Development Bill 2025 seeks to provide for the realization of equitable allocation of resources for development projects within the wards of the county, to provide for the establishment of ward project development committees, to provide for monitoring of projects to ensure all development funds allocated to projects are properly used for the purpose for which they were appropriated. Specifically, the bill seeks to promote equality in distribution of development resources within the ward in the county, enhance public participation in project identification, prioritization, implementation, and oversight of projects, enhance accountability in use of development funds of the county, ensure development projects are aligned to the county integrated development plans, and to promote social and economic development and the provision of proximate, easily accessible services throughout the county. Mr. Speaker, sir, the bill is categorized into 5 parts and 1 schedule, with part 1 being the preliminary of the bill, which is short title and commencement, interpretation, purpose of the act, and guiding principles. Part 2 is on equitable development mechanism, which involves development requirements per ward, equitable allocation of funds, headquarter projects, reports on absorption of development funds, identification of projects, prioritization of project proposals for selection of project, integration of projects in county planning, public participation, funds allocated to ward development projects, Public Procurement Act and regulation to be observed, implementation of projects, notice of implementation of ward projects, monitoring and evaluation, right to information by residents, reporting to the county assembly and committees of the county assembly. Part 3 is on administration, that is ward project identification committee, project management committee, and functions of the project management committees. Part 4 is on financial management, that is records of disbursement. And part 5 is on miscellaneous provisions, that is equitable development committee, offenses and penalties and regulations. The schedules is on provisions for the conduct of business and affairs of the ward project identification committee. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Makueni County Equitable Development Bill 2025 was read the first time in the County Assembly on 14th May 2025 and was committed to the Committee on Finance and Socioeconomic Planning as provided by Standing Order 145 of the County Assembly Standing Orders. The bill was subjected to public participation through request of memorandum from interested members of the public and concerned stakeholders. The request for memoranda had required those interested to submit their memoranda by 4th June 2025. However, by the end of the request period, no memorandum had been received. Mr. Speaker, sir, that committee has not been able to finalize its report on the bill due to some engagements which caused the delay. However, the committee is working around the clock to have the report tabled in this House at the earliest opportunity to guide the consideration of the bill in the committee of the whole House and the subsequent passage with the legally provided timelines. Mr. Speaker, sir, I therefore implore members to support the second reading of the Makueni County Equitable Development Bill 2025 to allow it to move to the next stages of consideration, including its passage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Call upon Honorable Cosmas Kaleli to second this motion.
Honorable members, I propose a question that Makueni County Equitable Development Bill 2025, the Makueni County Assembly Bill number 3 of year 2025 be now read a second time, which is second reading. The floor is open for debate. Mover of the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request members to support with a big yes.
Honorable members, I put the question that Makueni County Equitable Development Bill of the year 2025, which is the Makueni County Assembly Bill number 3 of the year 2025, be now read a second time, which is second reading. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Last members of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Chairperson committee, you will provide a substantive report on this bill within 14 days. Chairperson Larson to provide a report to this House on the circumstances at which the committee did not comply with the provision of standing order number 145 in view of this bill. Next order. Clerk, second reading.
The Makueni County Equitable Development Bill 2025, a bill for an act of the County Assembly of Makueni to provide for the realization of equitable allocation of resources for development projects within the wards of the county, to provide for the establishment of ward project development committees, to provide for monitoring of projects to ensure all development funds allocated to projects are properly used for the purposes for which they were appropriated and for connected purposes. Second reading.
Next order.
Order number 11, the Makueni County Social Protection Bill 2025, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025. Order for second reading.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move the following motion, that the Makueni County Social Protection Bill 2025, Makueni County Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025 be read a second time. Mr. Speaker, sir, the objective of this bill is to provide legal anchorage for implementation of sustainable social protection interventions in the county. It seeks to ensure that vulnerable residents of Makueni County have access to education, affordable health care, nutritious food, and basic income security so that they can remain productive contributors to the workforce and valued members of the society. The bill additionally establishes the Makueni County Empowerment Fund, MSEF, to provide the vulnerable undertake income generating activities through access to affordable credit and business development support services, and provide for other Makueni County protection-related funds. Mr. Speaker, the committee is in receipt of a memorandum from a group in Kalawa Ward that is under our consideration, and therefore we ask to give a progress report, to report progress on Wednesday next week. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to call upon Honorable Mulemba to second the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, I propose the question that Makueni County Social Protection Bill of the year 2025, which is Makueni County Assembly Bill number 4 of 2025, be now read a second time, second reading. Floor is open for debate. Chairperson. Mover of the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the members for the support in silence and implore them to approve the second reading of this bill. Thank you.
Honorable members, I put the question that the Makueni Assembly Bill number 4 of the year 2025 be now read a second time, second reading. Now, as many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Aware that the chairperson has indicated that will give a progress report in the subsequent sitting. Chairperson shall endeavor to do so within 14 days. Chairperson Larson, compliance with standing order number 145 B has not been complied with. In the subsequent sitting, you table a report on the same. Next order. Clerk.
The Makueni County Social Protection Bill 2025, a bill for an act of the County Assembly Makueni under Article 43 of the Constitution for the vulnerable to create a framework for coordination of social protection programs implemented in the county, to establish an integrated register of social protection, to provide for the establishment of the Makueni County Empowerment Fund and any other county social protection related funds. Second reading.
Next one.
Order number 12, motion. The report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration and Special Programs on the oversight on liquor licenses and the control conducted on 21st and 22nd of November 2024.
Mover of the motion. Honorable members, before we proceed for purposes of our students, we were undergoing through bills. Bills are proposed laws. And as you've noted is that when the bills were presented before this house, the respective committees were supposed to prepare a report and submit to this house. You have noted, just like I gave an example, all the prefects of the chairs had half-baked homework. And we have reported them to the head boy of the committees. The head boys of the committees is the deputy speaker who chairs a committee of all chairpersons of the house to inquire into circumstances under which the committees and the chairpersons were not able to present the report within the required timeline and make recommendations as to what action should be taken. We hope before then the committees will have compiled the respective reports and comply with the timelines. The timelines in these county assemblies are still guided as it is in your schools, that every assignment and an activity has a timeline within which it must be executed. We will now proceed to what we call substantive motions, which attracts debate. And before we adjourn, so that you may follow. Chairperson, to move the motion.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following motion that
Take the microphone on the stage.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move the following motion that this assembly adopt the report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration and the Special Programs on the oversight on the legal licensing and control conducted on 21st and 22nd November 2024 laid on the table of the Assembly on 14th April 2025. Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, I will go direct to the executive summary and direct to the objective and exercise. The oversight activity was mainly geared towards ensuring that there is efficiency and the effectiveness in service delivery by the department, making recommendations on the various county government projects and policies, ensuring that the need and the priorities of the county residents are met and holding the county executive accountable in implementation of their own policy plans. The objective of the exercise were to get first-hand information on 1. Revenue collection in legal licensing permits. 2. Disposal of waste bottles from the legal premises. 3. Control of noise pollution from the premises. And 4. Establish whether legal premises are near schools and households. Mr. Speaker, sir, the oversight exercise on legal licensing and control was conducted on 21st and 22nd November 2024 in all wards across the county. Members of the county assembly were grouped into 15 sub-counties. The sub-counties, the subcommittees in undertaking the activities employed open interviews while obtaining feedbacks from club owners and members of public. Mr. Speaker, sir, in execution of oversight, the subcommittees were guided by the following terms of reference. 1, to establish whether the location of the legal business. 2, to establish the facilities type of permit, that is the retail business, night club, wines and spirits, bar and the restaurant. 3, to establish whether the county government collects revenue from single business permits and pool tables and betting machines. 4, to establish whether the number of legal businesses facilities within the market and the locality. 5, to establish whether the businesses are located near schools, churches and households. If yes, has the county government taken any collective measures? 6. To establish whether noise pollution is adhered to as per the stipulated laws. 7. To establish whether there are any external disturbances, that is interference from security officers. 8. To establish whether there is adherence, compliance with the specific timing for opening and closing of clubs. 9. To establish mode of disposal of used bottles by the legal premises. 10. To establish challenges experienced during the licensing process. 11. To establish how often the department visits the area for inspections. Mr. Speaker, the report is with the members in their forum, and Mr. Speaker, it has recommendations and findings from all wards across the county. Mr. Speaker, I will go direct to the general observations and the findings. The committee made the following findings, stock observation from the field oversight report that 1. There is a total lack of adherence to the specific timings for opening and closing of bars, with others even running for 24 hours, contrary to their permits. 2. The Department of Devolution, Public Procedural Count and Special Programs conducts inspection on annual basis to check on cleanness, expiry dates and validity of items, compliance and all the certificates. 3. Most of the legal business with pool tables and betting machines do not pay permits fees as prescribed by Makueni Finance Bill 2024. 4. Noise pollution is not adhered to for most bars. 5. There is no proper way of disposing used bottles. 6. The single business permits fees are too high considering the current degraded economy. 7. That some legal permits licenses were fake, that is compromised and not displayed on the premises. And sometimes they photocopied and used in different bars. Committee's general recommendations. The committee recommends that 1. The county government department responsible for enforcement should collaborate with the office of the county commissioner to ensure compliance on the opening and closing of the alcoholic outlets. 2. The Department of Devolution, Public Procedural Count and Administration, and the special programs should conduct inspection in legal outlets on quarterly basis to check on cleanness, expiry dates, that is validity of items, compliance and health certificates. 3. The county government, through the department responsible for enforcement, should ensure all licenses for bar owners are paid as prescribed by the Makueni Finance Act 2024, and provide a report on the number of licensed and unlicensed betting machines and pool tables within 30 days after adoption of this report. 4. The county government, through Department of Devolution, Public Procedural Count and Institution Special Program, should ensure noise pollution is controlled in bars as stated in Environmental Management and Conditional Act, that AEMCA number 8 of 1999. 5. The Department of Devolution, together with the Department of Enforcement, Environment and Climate Change, should come up with a regulation on disposal of used glasses and plastic bottles within the county government and report to the assembly within 90 days after adoption of this report. 6. The Department of Devolution, through the Department of Finance and Socio-Economic Planning, should reconsider the review charges imposed for single business permits and alcoholic drinks license in the next finance bill, with the intent to lowering the charges based on the economic cycle. And 7. The committee recommends that legal licensing certificate should be displayed on the premises, and they should have verifiable features to establish authenticity, e.g. barcodes readers. The Speaker, I take this opportunity to thank the committee members of their input and invaluable contribution during the deliberation of this report. The committee also take this opportunity to thank the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk for the support accorded during the consideration of this report. On behalf of the committee, hereby table committee reports on the County Assembly for consideration and adoption. I call upon Honorable Kaleli to second.
Honorable Kaleli, take the microphone that is dispatched. Table.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion. Basically, Honorable Speaker, we were on a mission to establish the adherence to certain acts. Adherence to the Legal Act, famously known as the Procedural, adherence to Finance Act, a bill that gives the county government the authority to collect revenue, among others, including the environmental law. Honorable Speaker, as the chair has read, there is little compliance to most of those regulations. Those are one of our findings, because on matters of time, the law dictates each category of the license which should comply to. But unfortunately, most of the outlets were running within 24 hours. We also realized that you realize a very small market, actually the legal outlets are more than the shops, which has to be regulated. On matters of the school, distance between the school and the churches, it was unfortunate because this was meant for social service purposes, majorly on matters concerning our learners. Unfortunately, some of the legal outlets are within that 300 meters, which is prescribed by the law. About the compliance to the finance bill, whereby also each category a certain amount that is to remit or pay to the county government, there was duplication. You realize someone has paid, he or she has several outlets, he or she is using one license to run the several premises. Therefore, that's why we had to give directions as a recommendation to the executing body of the county government to, in collaboration with the national government, to ensure full compliance of the law, to ensure that our environment is protected. Solid waste disposal is rightly in order for the environmental matters. Therefore, I second the motion and the recommendation, and I would wish this assembly could get in and support the committee to ensure that our environment is left very clean, because when the involved parties comply with the law, then there will be no irregular disposal of those bottles and those plastic materials. Based on the recommendations, Honorable Speaker, I humbly request member to support the report, and I second. Thank you.
Honorable members, I propose a question for debate, that this assembly adopt the report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation and County Administration on the oversight on the liquor licensing and control. The oversight was conducted on 21st and 22nd of November year 2024, and the report was laid on the assembly table on 14th of April year 2025. The floor is now open for debate. Honorable members. Member for Ilima Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I stand to support the report, the motion. And besides the support of the motion, I thank the committee for good work which they have done towards this particular area. However, I would wish to point a few things and categorically challenge my colleagues in this house that they have a very key particular function of representation and also legislation. The Speaker, throughout this report, you realize that despite the fact that we have a very good finance bill which directs and guards operations of legal areas, it's unfortunate that we have rogue business people in Makueni County. And some have retracted or they have decided not to follow the law or the rules which we set in this particular house. Some are opening the legal areas 24 hours. And you find, as my colleague has said, you find a particular member who is running a chain of businesses. And this person has pocketed all the police officers within that particular area, has also pocketed some of our officers. So as a matter of fact, They operate outside the set precepts of the law. In this context, you find this is exposing our children. Some are even selling beer to children. Some are even selling beer at night. Even some of the policemen, you find that some go to drink and they forget even their own firearms in these particular drinking areas. So in this context, I feel is the high time as members of this assembly, we also be vigilant in our representation. When the children are exposed and we don't bring a statement here on these particular things and could be we aware, then I find it also an issue. But our executive officers need to go an extra mile and become more articulative when it comes to the issue of enforcing the law. Because we are leaving our communities, we are leaving our people exposed to some of the funny practices and vices which we are observing within the marketplaces or these legal areas. Besides that, I want also to challenge the count committee, and I will this one to go into record. We have actually count security committee, which should ensure security is adhered to. Some of the areas when they are open for 24 hours, they become a security threat, and you'll find we don't have any kind of we don't have people taking responsibility. We have the count commissioner who's supposed to be taking responsibility of the security of the count, but unfortunately his men, and I speak this one when we are at a menace whereby we have reached a point whereby even shooting somebody is not an issue. We have seen in Nairobi what has been happening, the policemen shooting people, like small people here and there. So it seems like we are existing at a rule of law whereby people are taking everything by their own hands. And I feel our people of Makueni, if we continue this trend, they are threatened in terms of security. Because 24 hours operation for legal places, it becomes a serious security lapse for this country. So I support and I would wish the recommendations are taken to the latter by the concerned departments. Thank you.
Member for Mtitwande Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also rise to support the adoption of this motion. However, Mr. Speaker, I'm finding the committee general observations very weird. However, some might be good, but when you look at the second one, there is no reported instances of external disturbance, that is interference from the police or the security officers. And this is a matter which is across, and we understand how they are harassing traders, especially those who are dealing with the third generation Olco, especially the one we are calling Kapungulutu. It's a serious threat, and the usual part there, sometimes they collect those illicit brews, and over every day, and we have been around Makueni for a while. The usual part there around 7 in the evening, collecting some 50 bob or 100 shillings, and that is and the committee could not even do their own indulgence and the whole time to understand what actually happens. The other one, they are saying that also the first one, there is no adherence to specific time. That is also a problem. We need bars are running throughout the day, throughout the night. Winds and spirits are running from morning to night. So it's my prayer, once this report is adopted, we need to commit the CEC for devolution to make a comprehensive report to this assembly on what measures is doing and any other agency within Makueni, what they are doing to avert all this. And I like the way the committee were honest to some extent. There were noise pollution all over. There's no proper way of disposing the used bottles, especially for the third generation Olco. The permits inspection license fee are too high. That might be for another day, but relatively people would love or would like the cost of Olco to be a bit higher so that they discourage people taking Olco. However, even the finance bill which is coming from the national government, there are also proposals to raise further the cost of taking Olco. So, Mr. Speaker, I support them, but the CEC for devolution should make an undertaking to report to this House on the progress is making as per this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, member, mover of the motion to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank members for supporting this motion and their recommendations and their input into it. Mr. Speaker, when we say, when we make a recommendation that there are no external interferences, Mr. Speaker, that is what we got from the committees, the subcommittees. There was no anywhere recorded that there was that disturbance. If there is then committee that were recorded, we could have made a recommendation on that. Maybe they are disturbed, but they fear to report, Mr. Speaker. So you can't give a false information that was not given by the members. And also, Mr. Speaker, when we say they are feeling that the fee is too high, that is what they reported. We report exactly what the members of public gave during the oversight, Mr. Speaker. So I think I want to appreciate members and I will ask them to approve this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I now put the question for vote that this assembly adopt the report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation and Account Administration on the oversight on the legal licensing and control conducted on 21st and 22nd of November year 2024. The report was laid on the table of the Assembly on 14th of April year 2025. Will as many as of their opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, for purposes of students, I wish to state as follows: that the Count Assembly conducting an oversight activity. An oversight is where subcommittees of the Count Assembly will visit all liquor shops, bars, and restaurants to assess the state of compliance with the laws of Kenya. The committee has presented a report for the House to consider and approve. In that report, there are observations and findings of the committee, but further to that, and the most important, there are conclusions or the recommendations, where the committee is making some certain recommendations and has presented to this House for approval by way of a vote. And when these recommendations are made, the recommendations are communicated to the county minister responsible for enforcement of the findings and the recommendations. I will therefore give the following directions: that the recommendations of the committee contained in this report be conveyed to the following: 1, to the County Department on Devolution and Public Participation or sub-county administrators and all ward administrators. 2, the County Department for Finance or sub-county revenue officers to get copies. 3, to the County Security Committee, which is shared by the County Commissioner. This is a committee responsible for enforcement and shares the responsibility of licensing and oversight with the county government. 4, the Governor for Makueni County, the Deputy Governor, the County Secretary. Further, I've seen the recommendation on noise pollution. A copy should be directed to the County Minister responsible for environment and noise pollution. Honorable members, the Chairperson Committee on Devolution, in line with standing orders, you will provide a response on status of implementation of these recommendations within 60 days. It's only then we will allow the Committee on Implementations to follow up. So take note of that. Further to this, Chairperson, the Clerk of the County Assembly, I would direct that Mwambane Second School gets a copy of this report for students to study, read, understand, and the respective teacher may set questions arising from these reports and examine for purposes of this field study to the County Assembly of Makueni. Thank you very much, honorable members. The sessions of the County Assembly for students do start at 2:30 p.m. and ends at 5 p.m. Time now being 17:00 hours. This assembly stands adjourned until Monday, 23rd of June 2025 at 14.